Have you ever screamed at the TV because a professional footballer missed an obvious pass? You saw the teammate, the commentator saw the teammate, millions of fans saw the teammate. So why didn't one of the best players in the world? Here's the surprising answer. In that moment, you probably could see the pitch better than they could. Not because you're a better footballer, but because you're watching from the perfect angle. By the end of this video, you'll understand why elite players sometimes miss the easiest pass, how their brains are fighting against them, and why one hidden skill separates good players from football legends. Imagine you're watching a football match from above, almost like you're playing a video game. You can see every player, every gap, and every possible pass. Now imagine standing on the pitch instead. Your view instantly shrinks. Instead of seeing 22 players, you mostly see the players directly in front of you. Everyone behind you disappears, unless you physically turn your head. That's the first secret. Professional footballers don't have a magical bird's-eye view. They experience football almost entirely from eye level, just like you would walking down a busy street. And here's the crazy part. Some studies have shown that your central vision, the part you see most clearly, covers only a tiny part of everything in front of you. Everything else is blurry, unless you move your eyes or your head. So every second, a footballer is making decisions with incomplete information. But the best players have found a way to beat this problem. It's called scanning. Scanning simply means quickly looking around before the ball reaches you. Watch players like Xavi, Kevin De Bruyne, or Luka Modric. Before receiving a pass, they're constantly turning their heads, left, right, and behind them. Sometimes 5, 6, even 7 times in just a few seconds. It almost looks unnecessary, but those tiny head turns are building a mental map of the entire pitch. Think of it like checking your mirrors while driving. You don't wait until someone is beside your car to look. You already know where everyone is. Football works the same way. Here's something most fans never notice. The world's best play faster, not because they run faster. They think faster. When the ball arrives, they've already made their decision. While everyone else is still looking around, they're already making the pass. That's why their football seems effortless. Now let's talk about something called tunnel vision. Have you ever been so focused on one thing that you completely missed something obvious? Maybe you were searching for your phone while it was in your hand. Footballers experience the same thing. Under pressure, your brain narrows its attention. Defenders are charging toward you. The clock is ticking. Suddenly, that easy pass you spotted from your couch isn't visible anymore. Your brain is simply trying to survive the moment. That's why even the greatest players in history sometimes miss passes that seem impossible to ignore. They're not making lazy decisions. They're making human decisions. And here's one final twist. When you're watching on TV, the camera gives you almost perfect information. You know where every player is. You don't have to control the ball. You don't have defenders sprinting at you. You don't have 80,000 people screaming in your ears. In other words, you're solving a completely different problem. So yes, for a brief moment, you might actually see the pitch better than a professional player. But seeing it and playing it are two completely different things. The next time a footballer misses what looks like an obvious pass, remember this. They're not seeing the game the way you are. The greatest players aren't the ones with perfect vision. They're the ones who constantly create it by scanning, thinking ahead, and making decisions before anyone else even realizes what's happening. And once you start noticing that invisible skill, you'll never watch football the same way again. If you enjoyed learning one of football's best-kept secrets,